to wake the channels up in a mild, gentle manner, if you like, and something can be done early in the morning. You can do it with oil. It's a massage that you'll probably come across if you've had any Ayurvedic massage done to you, as opposed to doing it yourself. And you can do it with warm oils. Usually, the base oil is usually sesame seed oil, and you can get Ayurvedic oils that have herb infusions, of course, and that can be useful to do into the massage itself. You leave on maybe 10-15 minutes and then shower and take it off, and you'll notice it can have a profound effect on, at least on the joints, particularly this time of year. We're transitioning into the Vata season. The wind is becoming more predominant, and you'll notice that your joints get a bit stiffer, so it's a good thing to do. Even if you just do the joints, if you do the joints, you circle the joints, and then you can wash it off if you don't do the whole thing. So we'll do the whole thing from now, and you can go back over this. Some of you are familiar with it already. So we'll start seated with the palms together. And you're ready, just going to rub, get a bit of heat. And with the eyes closed, just put the palms over the eyes, so you're cupping the eyes. And then you're going to pat the eyes as you open. So every time you take the hands away, you open and close as you pat gently. So I'm opening my eyes, closing my eyes, patting gently. Then you're going to curl your fingers over the top of the head, hands like a claw, towards the base of the skull. Then you're going to take your thumb in your fist, with a knuckle as a thumb, and you're going to circle the temples. So the thumb knuckle circling the temples. And then you go the other way. Keep your seat grounded so you're sitting right on the space between the sit bones. And then you're going to take that thumb knuckle and draw it down the eyebrow center. Just downwards, not up and down, just downwards. So the movements are always in one direction. You're not rubbing up and down. It's usually just down or away from the center. Then you're going to take the index knuckle, so thumbs back to the temples, index knuckle, and you're rubbing across the eyebrow from inside to outside. Then you're going to rub it across the eyelid. This all starts to bring the prana and the chi into the head, waking things up slowly. And then down under the eye, this is related to the kidneys. And then with a thumb and an index fingers between the eyes, there's a circle, the very top of the nose. And then we come back with the thumb knuckle to find your bridge of your nose and just go slightly wider. It's the upper sinuses and you're circling. Particularly this time of year, the sinuses can get a bit blocked. Many allergies, then sometimes it's useful as well. And come down and out a bit wider, so the lower sinuses are to the side of the flare of the nostril. This also relates to the fire element, the flares of the nostrils. Then we're going to go to the ears. So, tops of the ears, and it's like you're rubbing two coins together. And you come down the ear. And then you're going to pull on the earlobe. And then 2 fingers straight at the back of the ear. You find that bony protrusion, just going to rub straight back. This is a few places where you rub back and forth. And now we're going to move to the throat. So you're drawing the hands down, but you're kind of pinching as you draw down. So watch me for a sec. Some of you are just doing this, like a cat scratching. Yeah, you've got to grab the throat gently, and it's like you're pulling the flesh forward and down. This drags the heat, any excess heat, out of the head. Good. Now we're going to move to the arms. So you're going to, fingers like a claw right at the top. This is called amsa. Circling, rubbing the top of the shoulder, the trapezius muscle in particular. It relates to the 5th chakra, throat chakra, and the mental tension. So you get any mental tension from stress, computer work, hard focused concentration builds up here. Of course, we all know that from stiff necks and shoulders. So you work your way across that muscle towards the spine. And then we're going to rub down. So using the heel of your hand, it's a firm movement and it's away from the neck. So like you're flicking off the top of the shoulder, across that trapezius muscle. Good. Now, we're going to work down the arm. So you're going to rub down the biceps. So again, this is just one direction towards the elbow. And again, you use, so rather than just this soft like tap, you've got to use the heel of the hand. So there's a bit of friction. Again, if you're using oils, it's a little easier because you've got more ability to slide and move. Then we go to the back, so turn from the wrist and the forearm. You're going to rub, do the same action on the tricep muscle, back of the arm. Again, there's a firmness to the touch. Now we're going to bend the forearm in front of you. You're going to bend your wrist. So keep the wrist bent. And we're going to use predominantly 2 fingers, maybe 3. You're going to rub towards the elbow. Now you'll find as you go between the 2 forearm bones there's a kind of riverbed indentation. Follow that indentation to the elbow. And again, there's a firmness. So this one relates to important marma here on the forearm, Indravasti, as I've mentioned many times before. Some of you relates to the small intestine, which of course relates to the ability to assimilate everything that we take in, not just your food, but also your thought patterns, and the stomach fire, Jatara Agni. So forearm, very important to stimulate. You notice if you have excess heat in the body, it tends to get it flares up a bit of red color. And after the summer, we tend to hold on to some excess heat. So now is the time to start to release it. Even as it's getting a bit colder, we might have excess heat in our tissues. Now you're going to turn the palm up. It's the same principle, but use your thumb instead. From the thumb side of the hand, work your way between the 2 forearm bones towards the inner elbow. And again, it's a firmness to it, yeah? It's not just like I'm moving the hand, I'm pressing and I'm rubbing. It's going to bring a little friction. Good, and relax now. We're doing the same on the other side. Just notice that the one arm feels different to the other now. From the neck to the wrist. And then turn the head to the other side. Using your fingers, tips of the fingers circling and rubbing the top of the shoulder muscle, the trapezius. You find a sensitive spot, stay a little while. Of course, it can be a little more effective if you have somebody to do this for you, yeah? Working across. And then the heel of the hand flicking off from the neck to the shoulder. Again, make sure there's a firmness in the movement. And then we're going best on the flesh, so down on the bicep. Using the heel of the hand again. And then turning the back of the arm towards you. Down the bicep, or sorry, tricep, back of the arm. And we're going to bend at the elbow, keep the wrist firm. You're working from the thumb side of the hand, between those two forearm bones towards the elbow. And then turning the palm up. Wrist is straight now, work from the thumb to the inner elbow. Good. So that's the arms, shoulders and the arms. Now we're going to go to the legs. So I'm going to go back to the other side. So I'm doing my left. You can do left or right. Just go back to the first side. And you're going to just work your hands down the thigh muscle to the knee, both sides. And again with pressure. It's not just this gentle little smoothness. There's a firmness to it. Use the heel of your hand. So this region here, there's the top of the groin, lohitaksha, which relates to the movement of fluids, as does the center of the thigh, urvi, and down just above the knee, ani, which relates to muscular tension, the releasing of it, and also the movement of wind in the legs, vayu. Now, you're going to pinch. So pinching your flesh out to the side and down towards the knee. Pinch it out and down. Good. Then you're going to circle the knee. And you bend the knee and you tap it. And you work down the top of the foot, shin and foot. Good. Now you're going to take this foot beside your hip, like so. So take that same leg, bend the heel beside the hip like a hero pose. Now you're going to use your hand like a claw again on the buttock flesh and you want to be like circling around the sit bone. Move in towards the sacrum and all the sacral holds, up towards the top of the buttock, and just work your way around. And then if you get right in where the hamstring, the back of the thigh meets the sit bone, and just rubbing it from kind of inside to outside leg. Good. Now, we're moving to the calf. So, you take the thumb and 2 fingers like a pincer, and you're going to press the thumb into the belly of the calf. The other 2 fingers come towards the shin bone, and you drag and pinch backwards towards the heel. So the same marma that's in the forearm is in the shin bone, in Dravasti. So you're working the belly of the calf, right at the base of the calf is the marma point. That relates to the small intestine and the stomach fire. Good. And you're going to make a fist. Oh, sorry, before we do the fist, you're going to pinch the heel. So I'm using my thumb and my index knuckle, pinching. It's called gulpa, which relates to muscle tension. You want to release the tension in your legs or buttocks or lower back, you take more weight on the center of the heels. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, the average person breathes from their lungs, the extraordinary person breathes from their heels. Now you make a fist onto the top of the heel, and you're going to turn on your fist and move your way down like you're kneading dough until you get towards the big toe knuckle. So from heel, down through the ball of foot, arch, big toe. Good. Then I'm going to change the legs. So take the other leg out to the side. Move down towards the knee with the heel of the hand, applying pressure. And then you're going to pinch the flesh out and down. Towards the knee, out towards the side of the leg, down towards the knee. Then, bend, circle, tap. Rubbing down the shin off the top of the foot. Bend the knee. You're pinching like a clamp, if you like, with the thumb and the first 2 fingers, and then from the belly of the calf, or top of the calf and the outer shin, work down towards the heel. Like you want to squeeze the fingertips together as you move down. So again, it's the application of pressure and the direction of movement that stimulates the marma. Good. Now we're going to pinch the heel, gulpa. Heel bone. Then making a fist, turning on the fist as you work your way down towards the big toe. Good. And then cross the legs again, whatever way you started, do it the other way. Now we're going to move to the armpit. So it's like, imagine you had braces. You're going to take the thumb under the armpit and you're going to circle the thumb under the armpit. So this works the lymph nodes, but also the marmas associated with the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Good. Then you're going to circle down, so towards the front ribs. I'm circling forward. Towards the top of the hip. And then I'm going to stop and take my hands on my right side, so the liver's on the right side. Right side, yeah. And then you're going to circle from right to left and move in the direction of digestion. Again, I'm applying a little pressure with the heel of my hand. Good, and release. Now, final two pieces on the back. So I'm going to use a very loose fist and just tap the kidneys. And then I'm going to use my hands down the back in a kind of V shape towards the sacrum. Yeah? So from the kidneys downwards towards the sacrum. And then relax. Now we're just going to sit upright for a moment. Gentle tap on the eyebrow center. Move up towards the crown, gentle tap, crown of the head. Back to eyebrow center. And then if you just straighten the arms, you can join the thumb, the pads of the thumb and the index finger, the other fingers are straight. Jnana Mudra. Just sitting upright with the eyes closed, take a moment to be aware of the consequence of all that Marma rubbing. Place the tip of your tongue gently against the upper palate, behind the upper ridge of your teeth. Lengthen the base of the skull slightly upwards. Relax the shoulders down, sit down equally between the sit bones. As you draw your attention to the third eye, the crown center, just inviting divine consciousness, pure consciousness to enter through the crown chakra. Invite that golden bright light of pure consciousness to surround you, protect you, love you. Envision that light encasing the entire body. Inviting any guides, teachers, loved ones, God Self to connect to your consciousness. Any and all entities that are aligned with awakening humanity and healing the planet. Our consciousness is intimately connected to Gaia. We don't function without her. together. Just bowing the head is a gesture of gratitude to your own attention, your own effort throughout this practice. Releasing the hands, the eyes open gently. So, when you're ready, you're going to come to standing. So, standing up slowly. So now we won't always do the Marma massage. We'll do it a couple times this week, and then you can do it yourself if you like before we start practicing, or just do it as a standalone practice. It's nice to just get things moving in a very gentle way. So now we're going to work a little bit more with the Marmas, just so I want you to get a feeling of where they actually live in the body. And that was one way of doing it, and this is a slightly different way. So coming from the top, I'm just going to tap the sacrum, top of the hip. Work your way to the buttocks. And then as you bend your knees, and then tapping the backs of the legs. You can do this one leg at a time if you like. I'm just saving a bit of time by doing both arms, both legs at the same time. So I'm trying to get right into the belly of the flesh. And then coming down to the back of the knee. So you can use the front knuckles or the back of the fist, whatever is more accessible to you. And then we're going to come down into the calves, tap that Marma again, right into the belly of the calf. And the Taoists call it the small heart, because it's the calf that helps pump the blood back up the legs. And you're going to come just above the knee on the inside. This is the Agni Mudra, relating to the movement of Vayu and muscular tension, release of muscular tension. I'm going to come up the inside of the leg and right in the belly of the thigh. Urvi. Movement of fluids. And then right up into the groin itself, which is called Lohitaksha. The Taoists call it the Kwa, K-W-A. All the femoral artery, nerve, veins, very sensitive area. Now you're going to come up the top of the hip, side of the hip, and then even slightly to the back. I'm not quite in the middle, I'm still out to the side a bit. I'm going to go up to my kidneys again. And relax. Good. Now, so we just worked the lower part there. Now we're just going to stand with the feet shoulder distance apart, and I'm just going to start to shake a little. This one's called shake the tree. So you want to keep your tension in your feet at first. We're going to release the joints. So as you bounce a little, bring attention to releasing, relaxing the ankle joints. And then up into the knee joint. Freeing the knee joints. And then moving up towards the hip joints. And then into the sacrum. Starting to move up the spine. So the Taoists, they call it counting your blessings. So you're counting the movement up the spine, the 5 lumbar vertebrae. Up to the back ribs, and moving up to 12 thoracic vertebrae. So you might feel the arms are coming into it a bit, shoulders. All the way up between the shoulder blades. Moving up into the cervical vertebrae. And then I think you can bring in the arms a bit, so start to shake out the wrists, fingers. Didn't think you'd be doing a little dance for this early in the morning, did you? Alright, now I like to shake the arms out a bit away from the body. So let the movement be free now. So you've got the idea that you're shaking from the joints, and you just let the arms and hips move a little. So there's a bit of form, and then you have to relax the form a bit to let them. Because the idea is we're freeing up the chi, freeing up the blood, and it's not a linear process. It has a bit of structure, but then you have to free it up a bit. And then you're going to bring that to a slow stop. And just be aware of the feeling, particularly in the limbs, spine. Good. Now we're going to move to the joints. So most of you know the joint movements, some of you are new to you. So right foot back, top of the foot pressing down, and then rolling out. And rolling in. And we change legs. Make sure the leg is straight, top of the foot's behind you, pressing down first, and then rolling out. And rolling in. So when you open the ankle, that frees all the soft tissue up into the hip. So it's the ankles that control the soft tissue of the leg into the hip. And then release. And do the neck. So head forward and around slowly in a circle. It's the neck that controls the soft tissue in the spine. And then pause in the middle as you change direction. Pause in the middle again. Now we'll do the crane neck, so the chin comes forward, back and in, forward, back and in. I'm not sure, you can see it from the side. So feel the movement in the base of the skull and the occiput. And we go the other way, so forward, down and in. Pause. Now, looking over the left shoulder, keep the other shoulder level, so don't bring the other shoulder forward. Now use your eyes to look back and down, and then lengthen the base of the skull slightly up. Relax the tail down. And moving your eyes, not your head, just your eyes, look up, like you want to look straight up into the sky. Feel the pull on the base of the skull on that left side. And relax your eyes, bring the hand slowly across to the other side, don't move the shoulders. Look back and down with the eyes. And then eyes up. Relax the eyes, bring the head to the center, and then we work with the shoulders. So focus on your collarbones, lifting up, back and down. Pause, relax, focus on the shoulder blades as you go the other way. And relax. And we're going to lift the shoulders. So remember that feeling at the top of the shoulder, that Amsa and Marma, lifting and drop. Lifting and drop. Try not to bend the elbows. One more. Relax. Palms together, interlace the fingers, rolling on the wrist. Turning the wrist the other way. Try to keep the forearms fairly close. So elbows a bit closer, Madison. That's better. And release. Now turning from the waist, look over the shoulder. The front hand taps the top of the chest, back hand taps the back of the hip. So the front top of the shoulder there relates to the inhalation, as does the back of the hip. Stimulating the inhalation points. And release. Hands on the back of the hip, circling the hip and the waist. Keep the head upright. So don't move your head and shoulders, just move the hip and the waist. Changing direction. And we're going to go again the other way. And one more time, change direction. And then relax the arms, bend the knees slightly, and just turning the tailbone and the sacrum only, so the very small movements. Sacrum and iliac, you're drawing a circle between your feet with your tailbone. A full, complete circle. Changing direction. And release. Now you're going to pump the sacrum forward, slight grip of the anus, and relax. Forward and slight grip, and relax. Forward, slight grip, and relax. And see it from the side, sometimes it helps. And relax. So you're not lifting the tail in the back, it's just gripping in the front, and then just let it relax down. So this helps with the movements of fluid up the spine, cerebral fluid. It's called the sacral pump. One more. And relax. Good. Knees, feet together, knees bend. Let's circle the knees to the right. Try to move forward from the root of the thigh, from the back of the knee. Changing direction. Pause. Now you're going to go forward, out and back in with the knees. So circling the knees away from each other. Then you go the other way, circle the knees towards each other. Good. Coming up. Feet shoulder distance. Now you're going to keep your hands on your thighs. You're going to bend your knees. And then we're going to roll the sacrum. So shift your weight from heel to toe. Roll the sacrum forward. Rolling up the spine gently. Bend the knees, weight in the feet, roll, shift the weight from heel to toe, roll the sacrum forward. So it's a spinal movement. Try to avoid using your shoulders. I have to be very mindful with this one because my arms tend to dominate the spine. One more. Use the leg power to come up. Good. Now keeping the feet shoulder distance, thumb in your fist. So most of you have done this with me already. If you haven't, you can watch the first couple. So the elbows come back, the chest lifts, the tailbone lifts, the gaze is up. Don't throw your head back. We take a breath in, and as I step in, I curl my sacrum forward, my kidneys back, my elbows forward, and my chin in. So it's as you step out, you inhale, lift the tail, elbows back, gaze up. As you step in, exhale, sacrum forward, kidneys back, elbows forward. Don't fold from your waist, you're just curling in from the chest. Open on the inhale, closing on the exhale. Let's have a look. Step out, elbows back. Step in, elbows in, kidneys back. Good, just make sure it's not a forward bend, yeah? When you step in, don't let the waist fold. It's just kidneys back, chest drops, as opposed to this. Yeah, here. Okay, keep going. And then see if you can focus predominantly as you open, T5 between your shoulder blades moving forward, tailbone lifting, and as you're closing, tailbone forward, T5 moving back. So T5 into the body, tail lifts, T5 back, sacrum forward. Couple more. So this starts to move again, the movement of energy up the spine. Spine tends to be dominated by our limbs. One more each time, open inhale, closing exhale. Next time you step out, just inhale and relax your arms down. Okay. And now, particularly most of you, if not all of you, are yoga practitioners, so the tendency, just be mindful if you're doing this yourself, is to consider it a forward bend. It's not this. You have to stay up. So if you see what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to create a fullness in my back. If I do this, I lose it and I start folding from my navel. I'm not folding from the navel, I'm just taking my kidneys back. Even a bit higher is fine. Okay? Alright, so moving on. So feet rather, shoulder distance apart. Keep them parallel. You're going to bend your knees. Let your weight relax in your feet. And you're going to bend your elbows and hold the ball about the size of a grapefruit below your navel. The elbows are wide. Now the tendency is you might lean forward from the top. So you have to keep your collarbones directly over your sit bones. The base of the skull is lengthening slightly upwards. The tailbone is lengthening slightly downwards. My kidneys are full, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm sitting right above my sit bones. So the feet take the weight. There's a basic stance, it stimulates the blood. The Marma's in the legs and the feet. Breath is smooth, even. The tip of the tongue is against the upper palate. Try not to grip the thigh muscles. They're going to want to get involved, but it's the bones that are holding you up, not the muscles. There's a slight turning of the knee as if it wants to turn from inside to outside. So it stops the knee from buckling in like this. It's a slight turn of the knee outwards towards the outer heel. It's not a twisting, but more of a slight turn. As you exhale, you just press the palms down. Draw the hands to the eyes as you inhale. Hold the breath, pause, then as you exhale, gently press out through the center of the palms. Empty. Inhaling to draw in. Exhaling to draw down. To the eyes. Inhale. Keep the mind in the feet, heavy in the feet. Exhale. Press out. Navel draw slightly back, kidney slightly back. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Let your palms face forward as you inhale, gently straighten the legs. Hold the breath for a moment, hands towards the eyes from eye level. Press down and exhale. Empty. Arms forward, inhale. Pause, bend. Exhale. One more. Good. Now we bend the knees again. Not quite as deep, just a little bend. We work with lifting the sky. So if you remember this one, the palms face down, the fingers are pointing in. I extend from my elbow to my wrist. I will follow the hands with my gaze. So I inhale to look up. Exhale, release the arms out, head neutral. Empty, palms down. Inhale. Exhale, head neutral. Keep the weight of the feet, palms down. So when the arms go up, don't lift the tail up. Keep the tail dropped. And exhale down. Empty. So now we work with the inhale through the nose. The exhale through the mouth is a ha sound. Inhale, arms up. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going. Remember, the weight stays in the feet. The feet stay parallel, knees tracking slightly forward. Try to map the movement with the breath. Palms press down and then up. Express the fingers so you're working the channels in the arms. The long, large intestine. The heart, small intestine. And the pericardium, and what they call the sanjiao or the triple burner. We'll do 3 more rounds. Finish the one you're on, let your legs straighten and just be aware of the feeling, particularly from the shoulders to the fingertips. It's always good to take a moment to be aware of the effect of whatever activity you're doing. Now we move into the fire